This is an experiential that goes along with the episode on how to not take things personally. And in this experiential, we'll move through some embodied healing as well as looking at a broader context for which the situation that may trigger you happens. The Embody podcast accompanies you on your journey of remembering and embodying your true nature, integration and alignment with your vibrational clarity, self-love, and living a life of beauty and wholeness. It's a menu of transformative healing tools, experientials, meditations, and practices from a blend of family constellations, somatic therapies, and holistic and spiritual practices, sprinkled with vulnerable conversations with people who have the courage to be themselves, Alive Now episodes with updates on my personal process, and Reverie episodes that are spiritual succulents that honor, reveal, hug, shake, or stir you into love. I'm your host, Candice Wu, integrative and intuitive healing facilitator and artist. If you'd like to tune into the full episode around how to not take things personally, how to heal at a deeper level, where we're not dependent on other people to give us value, worth, to be likable, to be lovable, or to belong, even though those are some of our deeper needs, that we can give that to ourselves in order to rely less on others for the validation that we want in ourselves. You can find the full episode at CandiceWu.com/EP131. You can also find experientials that I previously offered through the show notes in that link, other experientials that support stronger energetic and physical boundaries, moving through emotions, moving through relationships that are challenging. And at that same link, you can find the second experiential that will come out later this week if you're subscribed to the podcast, or that you can just find directly on the link. Again, it's CandiceWu.com/EP131. So let's just jump into the experiential today. Today's experiential is best fit for a situation in which you're getting triggered. Perhaps you're feeling like you are taking it personally. And what I mean by that is that you're activated. You're feeling something happening inside that is uncomfortable or unpleasant in relation to this person, to perhaps what they have said to you, what they have done, or any situation that relates to this person. It can be with a family member, with a friend, with an animal, with a stranger. And I've even had an experience where I felt like an inanimate object was something that inflicted something upon me. And that really emphasized the nature of my own projection, that this thing was doing this to me, or that I was a victim of the situation. So I would invite you to stand up in your space and take an object of some sort, like a pillow or some sort of prop that you can use and place on the floor. Sometimes putting a pair of shoes down or making footprints out of paper, or if you have those on hand, if you work with constellations more regularly. Place the object down in your space to represent this other person that you're experiencing a challenge with. And as you stand in this space, seeing this person that you're getting triggered by, notice the situation and context specifically of what hurt you or what activated you or what feels unpleasant. And as you touch into that, be sure to temper this with whatever your tolerance and capacity is in the now. Maybe just bringing this up is already very activating, and maybe it's not, and you're ready to go deeper. Go at your own pace, and when you feel like something's overwhelming, take a little break, look around, let your awareness come outside of you, And feel free to do only just what's right for you now. And anything in this experiential that doesn't fit for you, just ignore it or skip it and take what really fits for you now. So as you look at this person, notice any reaction in yourself in relation to the situation that's uncomfortable. Perhaps the words that they said or the thing that they did that activated you to feeling something inside. Notice your whole body's experience with that and how your body wants to be in following your body's movements, sensations, and emotions. Notice if you can look at this person or not. And if this is a comfortable distance to be in this space with them, let that be. If you're feeling like this is a little too intense or you want some more space between you and this person, not in the reality of life, but more so just in this moment, in your imagination and in this experience, you can move that object, that placeholder, as far back as you'd like, asking this person to move farther away from you. And you can even take it further and imagine this person outside of this space you're in. You can imagine them as far away as you need, a couple blocks away, a mile away, a world away, whatever feels like it supports you in feeling safe in your body, where your body feels it's tolerable. And just notice what that distance is and what that feels like. Notice what getting a little closer feels like, and just play with the edge in which you can feel safe and okay or neutral, and where you can touch into just a bit of what's uncomfortable. Now getting a little bit closer again. Imagine their context behind them. Imagine their family, community, the resources they have, the challenges that they have systemically. And you may or may not know what those are. You may have a sense. You may have no sense at all. Just opening to the fact that they do have a world behind them and around them that may be different from yours. You might even imagine their parents behind them, whether or not you know who they are. And as you become aware that they have a context in which they live in, just notice what that does for you in your body, if anything. If your situation involves race or ethnicity or some sort of difference that brings about unpleasant feelings or feels hurtful, this might be a really great way to just separate a bit and see your context and theirs. And as you sense that they have a context that they live within, and experience within as a human being, you might notice that they have some resources, or if they do, something has gotten them to this place, that something keeps them alive, or if they're not alive, that something did for a time. Something is supportive for them. And just noticing that piece. And if you'd like to, notice that there are challenges. Notice if you sense what those are, or if some intuition comes to you, leaving still the possibility that you really don't know. You really don't fully know what's there for them unless you do. And as you look at this person, if it fits for you, you might say to them, I take responsibility for what's mine here. And I leave with you what's yours. And I leave with you the extra, or anything that does not belong towards me. And notice how that feels and how your body experiences that. If it fits and feels right, you could imagine if there's any extra energy, emotions, or words that are coming towards you that don't seem to belong to you, imagine where they do belong, and imagine that energy turning towards where it belongs. Whether you know where it belongs or not. Letting it go in that direction, even though in the real life it's coming towards you. And whatever distance you're at, notice if that's changing, if it wants to change, or if it's still the same. Feel free to imagine a clear light or a healing light, a loving light, come between you and this person. And if there's anything else that needs to be said from your body, from any impulse in you, knowing that this is a space of healing, a space where any emotions can be expressed, feel free to do so now. And as you notice what you feel, you may spend more time with this or allow this to unfold at another time, taking a break. And just check to see when you look at this person now, or imagine this person, how does it feel to look at them? What happens in you? Has anything changed for you inside? And seeing this person with their whole context of life around them, what that gives you. And if you still have a prop or footprints or whatever you place there to represent this person, feel free to release that back to the object that it is. Just be in your own energy, in your own space. Feel free to look around and let your energy come out a bit into the now, into this moment. And this is just one piece that might support some shift in you, some separation between you and this person, a bit of boundary, so that you're not taking in what doesn't belong to you. And so it can go where it needs to go. And in the next experiential, we'll work with what is left for you, what's here for you to feel, what support you and your body, your heart might need in this triggering situation to take it to another level where you don't depend on this person to give you those things. Or to notice if you do depend on them and what that's like. So as we close here, feel free to move your body, tend to whatever needs to be tended to. And I'll leave with just a little music to support you in a transition. Thanks so much for tuning in. And again, if you want to find the other experiential that goes along with this episode, you can go to candice.com/EP131 or stay tuned and it will pop up on your feed. It's great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining me on the Embody podcast. And send a little gratitude to yourself for practicing and being here with what is.